Artificial pacemaker. So a pacemaker is a small battery-powered device that detects irregular or overly slow heartbeats. It also transmits a signal to your heart, causing it to beat at the correct pace.
In order to help regulate your heartbeat, a pacemaker is installed. The pacemaker instructs your heart to beat more quickly if it is beating too slowly, or medically termed as bradycardia. Some more recent pacemakers also feature sensors that notice changes in breathing or body motion and send out signals to the devices to raise heart rate during exercise as necessary.
The first application of this science and technological advancement began in 1941 when a Canadian electrical engineer, John Hams, was exploring the effects of radio frequency heating and hypothermia. He discovered that if the heart stops beating as the temperature fell, it could be restarted artificially by applying mechanical or electrical stimulation. This study led to the creation of the first cardiac defibrillation machine, which Hams used to restart a dog's heart in 1949. Meanwhile, in 1950, through research on dogs, Hams invented the first pacemaker device, which was too large to be used internally.
So the next big challenge was to make the device smaller.
Furthermore, developments and utilization have followed. Another American electrical engineer, Wilson Gubach, invented the first implanted cardiac pacemaker in 1958. He also designed pacemaker batteries, which were critical to their operation. With the invention of the transistors, the pacemaker's electrodes no longer required vacuum tubes, and a compact device could be employed instead. While in 1984, John Hams had a pacemaker fitted to regulate his own heart and received a replacement pacemaker 13 years later. By the mid-80s, fitting cardiac pacemaker had become a routine procedure which saved thousands of lives. Since the invention of the pacemaker, technological advancement have led to a vast number of improvements, making pacemaker more accurate and effective.
Any electronic device has a chance to experience malfunction. If the artificial pacemaker does not work properly, one should consult this to his or her physician. It can experience malfunction if the lead which delivers energy to the heart is pulled out of its position. Second is when the battery of the pulse or beat generator of the heart fails or stops. Third is when the circuit controls of this electronic device is exposed to strong magnetic fields, such as electronic devices like microwave oven, heating fans, electric blankets, and even cell phones. Fourth is when an individual's artificial pacemaker is not programmed properly during its first or replacement use. When a person's pacemaker is pulled out on its normal position, it is called Widler's syndrome due to the effect of twiddling it unconsciously. In this case, the artificial pacemaker is stitched firmly to its surrounding tissue to avoid Widler's syndrome.
There are 4 issues in using a pacemaker device. First is blood clot. On the side of the body where the pacemaker was implanted, an arm vein may experience the development of a blood clot. The affected arm may have some swelling as a result, but this rarely becomes a significant issue and normally goes away in a few days. The second issue is the pacemaker infection. A pacemaker infection can happen in certain persons who have them. Typically, this occurs within the first year of device installation. A pacemaker infection can cause a high body temperature as well as pain, swelling, redness where the device is located. The third issue is lead perforation. Close to 0.8% of pacemaker issues can be attributed to lead perforation. Less than a month after implantation, acute lead perforations can be deadly in up to 1% of patients. Computed tomography, which demonstrates the lead malposition, makes diagnosis simple. In order to manage pleural effusion and other difficulties, the lead wire may need to be relocated or removed. If necessary, a complete follow-up examination is also performed to look for any potential complications. The fourth and last issue is dysrhythmias. When a pacemaker fails to detect an inherent QRS complex such as premature ventricular contraction, ventricular dysrhythmias including ventricular tachycardia and ventricular fibrillation can develop.
The discovery and invention of artificial pacemaker gave hope to those individuals who suffer from a rare condition of bradycardia. The problems and issues stated does not serve as discouragement, but rather than awareness of its imposed risks that will equip us with better understanding on what is artificial pacemaker, when and how it is used for, and what are its capacities and limitations.
So hello there, today we'll be interviewing a patient and let us know how to live life in an artificial pacemaker by listening to her testimonies. Let us begin. Woo! So how does a pacemaker affect your life? Are you still able to live life normally, or are there any changes in your everyday life activities?
The short of it is I'm battery operated now. What I found out is that I'm not only able to be back in the gym, but I'm doing more than I was doing previously. Nothing's holding me back now.
It just gives you that quality of life where you could, and more time to spend with your family for important things. So yes, work is important, and running the house is important, and the homework is important, but actually there's nothing more important than spending quality time with your family. So I would say just do it.
Pacemaker references.